Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Tyler here, and this is the Sacktown Breakdown. If you guys enjoy the Sacramento-Kings and you want coverage, make sure you go ahead and give the video a like, subscribe if you're new here. Today we're going to be talking about the free agents that the Kings picked up. And I almost made this video yesterday, which was technically the first day of free agency, which that feels like it was like a week ago now, with all the stuff that's happened. But I wanted to wait, till the second because I didn't know what was going to happen. I almost made this video right after we signed Barnes, Dedmon, and Ariza, but I wanted to wait just because I didn't know what else we were going to do. Then overnight we signed Corey Joseph, and we also signed Rashawn Holmes, and then the next day. So I wanted to wait all day yesterday just in case something happened at night, and now I think we're pretty set in stone with our team. So let's go ahead and talk about it. All right, so I did some high quality, stuff right here. You don't see many YouTube channels use a WordPad on their videos. So I have a lineup of a projected lineup for next year. We're gonna go over it and talk about each position and what I think and how I feel. So obviously our starting lineup is Fox, Buddy, Barnes, Bagley, Dedmon. I guess I'll go over each player at each position first that we got new. So first of all, let's get Barnes out of the way. Actually, Barnes, I already made a video on him. Essentially, I thought his contract was a little bit of an overpay, but it is what it is. We needed to keep him. We had to have Harrison Barnes, because if not, Trevor Ariza would have been our starting small forward. That might have been a little bit of a mess, considering he's 34 years old. So I'm glad we got Harrison Barnes for even cheaper than what was originally reported, which I have no complaints about that. We got Barnes, and I'm happy. So let's start off on the top. Corey Joseph. We paid him 12 years, $37 million. Now, I love Corey Joseph. Anybody that came from the Spurs tree, whether it's a coach or players, you want them. Corey Joseph is really good. He's a very good defender. He can, run the point, and Corey Joseph is almost like Frank Mason and Yogi Ferrell put in a one, which is kind of funny. I don't know how tall Corey Joseph is. Let's go ahead and look that up real quick. Ooh, Corey Joseph. Damn, he's going to be hitting, see how I spell his name with a 3? He's going to be hitting all kinds of threes this year. Okay, Corey Joseph, Canadian basketball player. So he's 6'3". So, I mean, I don't think Frank Mason's 5'11", and Yogi Ferrell can't be more than 5'10", right? I feel like there's no way. He's 6 foot. So basically, he's like Frank Mason and Yogi Ferrell put into one on a 6'3" frame. He can do some scoring. He can also do some playmaking. He can defend, and he's bigger than both of them. Yogi Ferrell's 6 foot, Kojo's 6'3". So Corey Joseph's going to be amazing. A great backup to De'Aaron Fox. Kind of weird. De'Aaron Fox is probably making like half the amount Corey Joseph is. Corey Joseph's the backup. You got to overpay people in Sacramento. That's just how it is. Nobody wants to come here. Corey Joseph getting paid 12. Did I say 12 years? No, 3 years, $37 million. Essentially, it's like $12 million a year. A little more than $12 million a year. It's a little much, but I mean, who else were we going to get? TJ McConnell? I'd rather overpay and have Corey Joseph. Corey Joseph is going to be a godsend to this team. It's going to be amazing having Corey Joseph. He's going to be able to run the offense. We're going to be able to trust him. And, I feel like I'd take a bullet for Corey Joseph. That's how excited I am for this pickup. So it's going to be amazing seeing him in the Kings uniform, and I can't wait. Next, let's go to Ariza, since I already talked about Barnes. Okay, so Trevor Ariza is kind of tricky. And I only say this because he's 34 years old, and he didn't really do well last year. He didn't really play real well. Now, there's a caveat to that. He is 34 years old, but he played for the Suns and then the Wizards. And there's only one team that's more depressing than the Suns and the Wizards, and that's the Knicks. So he's basically in the two worst basketball situations in the league. Obviously, the Suns have Devin Booker, and they have DeAndre Ayton, and now they have Rubio. And the Suns don't have no talent, and the Knicks have the Knicks are screwed. But the Wizards, they have some talent too. They have Bradley Beal. They have, I guess that's it really. I mean, I could name some other players, but they're not. I mean, I guess the Suns technically really would probably have more talent than the Wizards, which is kind of crazy. Thomas Bryant's on the Wizards. Point being is, Ariza was on both two teams that sucked. Ariza's going to have playoff. This team should make the playoffs. Let's put it that way. And Ariza's going to, there was no chance the Suns or the Wizards made the playoffs last year. That's just how it is. Both teams sucked. the Suns, the Kings could make playoffs. Now, honestly, there's been some debate on Twitter, but I feel like the Kings should make the playoffs, and if they don't, it'll be a travesty. That's just me. But Trevor Ariza, this could go one of two ways. Either Trevor Ariza is going to be a great contributing small forward off the bench, and he's going to, Trevor Ariza will always know the right place to go, where to be on the court, and he can always shoot. So that's going to be amazing for us. And he's a decent defender. He's probably getting up there in age. He won't be as good of a defender as he was. But the thing with Ariza is I don't want it to turn into him being like all of a sudden turning into a pumpkin and being hella old, and then like being basically like Vince Carter. And Vince Carter was all right for us. But the thing is, I feel like Ariza, I don't know, that maybe it's just because I'm so used to watching a young team, but 34 years old seems like really old to me, and usually it doesn't. I guess in basketball years it is kind of old, but I just, I feel like there's a chance that maybe we need to get another small forward just in case, maybe. And that might sound weird. We gave Ariza 2 years, $25 million. That's $12 million a year. I mean, that's fine. I don't know. Most people probably won't feel this way, but I'm just a little scared that he's old. And I feel like that's going to be ridiculous. I feel like the first 5 games of the season, I'm going to watch him and be like, wow, I feel dumb for hating on this. I'm not really hating on it. I don't know. We'll see how Ariza plays, because he didn't play that well last year, and like I said, it's probably just because he had nothing to play for. I don't blame him. But, if he sucks, then he's basically just going to be Vince Carter. He's going to be a good locker room guy, hopefully, and he's going to be a good leader. He's going to be the old head on the team. At the very least, that's what he's going to bring. Anything above that, which I'm sure he's going to be better than that. He's not going to be Vince Carter. He's going to be better than that, and anything above him just being a leader, I'll take it. So, I'm happy with Trevor Ariza. He's a guy I feel like we should have got last year, but we got him this year, so I'm not going to complain. Barnes and Trevor Ariza, that's a good small forward duo, especially when they're not even. To me, De'Aaron Fox, Buddy Hield, Bagley, and Bogey are all the options, are the top 4 scoring options, and then you got Barnes and Ariza. So it's like, you don't even have to rely on Barnes and Ariza, and having 2 small forwards that you don't have to rely on for scoring, and they're Harrison Barnes and Trevor Ariza, that's going to be really helpful, because Harrison Barnes was on the Mavericks. He wasn't really putting up that great of numbers. He was like just averaging 20-ish points per game, but he was basically being relied on too much for his talent level. Harrison Barnes is average. To me, he's like Mr. Average. He's average at everything. Some things he's between above average and average. He's like in there. And this role fits him. And Ariza, essentially, at this age, is the same player as Harrison Barnes. Like he can do everything good. He knows where to be on the floor. He can shoot. He knows what to do. Essentially, it's 2 of the same players, except one's older. So it's nice. It's going to be a nice fit. And I could see Ariza playing some 4, maybe Bagley at the 5. And that would be awesome, too. A Fox, Buddy, or maybe even a Fox, Buddy, Bogey, Ariza, Holmes lineup or something. Or actually, if you went Fox, Buddy, Bogey, Bielitsa, Bagley, that would be the ultimate. That would be like the death lineup, because you have 3-point shooting everywhere. That lineup would be amazing. But anyways, I'm getting ahead of myself here. Let me actually talk about the rest of the players first. Then we have Dwayne Dedmon and Rashawn Holmes. Now, Dedmon was essentially a consolation prize for missing out on Al Horford and missing out on who else were we going after? Missing out on Clint Capella in a trade, missing out on Steven Adams in a trade. And Dedmon actually is a very good center. He can shoot the 3. He had a game last year for the Hawks where he scored 24 points. Excuse me. And he made like 5 threes. He can shoot the 3 ball. He's not like, doesn't have an amazing shot, and he's not like, he doesn't get a shot off in 2 seconds like Bielitsa or someone that's a real quick shooter. He doesn't have a Klay Thompson shooting stroke, but he can shoot the 3, and that'll always help us on the fast break. He can bleed out to the corner, force the big man to go to the corner. Buddy or Fox, easy layup. That'll help. The fact that Dedmon can stretch the floor will help. Now, he doesn't need to stretch the floor, but the fact that he can is nice. If Dedmon never shot 3 in his life, I'd be totally okay with it. But the fact that he can shoot the 3 will help us in certain situations. As for Rashawn Holmes, Rashawn Holmes doesn't shoot the ball. He doesn't need to. Rashawn Holmes is an absolute animal. Rashawn Holmes is athletic. He's explosive. He rebounds. He can block shots. Rashawn Holmes is actually the center that I wanted. Out of all the centers that were available, I wanted us to get Rashawn Holmes. I wanted him very bad. And as soon as we signed Dedmon, I was pretty butthurt because I figured we weren't going to sign Rashawn Holmes. We had no chance. Boom. Vlade signed Rashawn Holmes. 2 years, $10 million. That contract is amazing. And I don't want to be the bearer of bad news here, and I might get some hate for this. I think Rashawn Holmes is going to be better than Dwayne Dedmon. You didn't hear it from me. Dwayne Dedmon, I am, I like his contract. 3 years, $40 million, I think is what it is, right? So what's the math on that? Feel dumb doing this right now. I feel like I should do it in my head. 13.3. Okay, so basically all of our guys got signed to the same contract. Corey Joseph, Ariza, Dedmon, those three guys got basically almost the same contract. And then Holmes is making $5 a year, and Corey Joseph, and Barnes is making obviously the most, like $21 million a year. But I like Dedmon. He's not. Let's put it this way: Dedmon is like a little more finesse. He has a shooting stroke. He's a little more skilled. He has more moves. Rashawn Holmes is just like in your face, dunking, rebounding, blocking shots, athletic. Holmes is more athletic than Dedmon. And what's nice is it's almost like, and I kind of said the same thing with Corey Joseph being like a mix of Frank Mason and Yogi Ferrell in terms of like he can score and play make, where it's like Frank Mason is really just in there for his playmaking. Yogi would really just be in there as a spark off the bench scoring wise. Dedmon is almost like he almost has like, and I say this with a grain of salt because Willie Cauley-Stein didn't have much finesse. There's tons of times he'd miss layups, wide open layups. But Dedmon almost sort of has like the scoring ability of like a Willie, where he would shoot a jump shot here and there, but take it to the rim sometimes. And Holmes has like the defensive activity of Willie that you wanted to see from him all the time, and the explosiveness of Willie that you wanted to see from him all the time. But unfortunately, it would come and go. And Willie was never consistent. And essentially, they took Willie, the two things Willie was good at, kind of some weird scoring from, because Willie would score weird shots. Some games he'd hit like 5 jumpers. Some games he would dunk on everybody. Other games he wouldn't show up. So they took the jumpers and the dunking on people, and that's Dedmon's role. They took the running around the court and being crazy, and the stuff that Willie would do defensively and otherwise, just being energetic, and that's basically a Holmes role. So they can switch those guys out, depending on who they're playing, and that's going to be amazing because it allows us to play different styles. I mean, we can play 5 out, we could play 1 in, 4 out, give Dedmon the ball, dump it down low, see what he can do. Dedmon can get us rebounds. One thing Dedmon and Holmes can both do is get rebounds. They're not messing around with the rebounds. They're both going to be better rebounders than Willie, and that's just a fact. Obviously I'm not the biggest fan of Willie. I think that's pretty obvious. And he's gone now. I don't want to trash him. He's old news. He's history. But I kind of need to make comparisons to other players, just talk about the team, because Willie's all I've known as a center for the last 2 years. So that's essentially my thoughts on the new pickups. How they're going to factor in with the lineups can be amazing. And God, I don't know why I made the point guards all capitals. I know I did that. I'm sorry. It kind of bothers me now that I'm looking at it. But it is what it is. So essentially we're going to have Fox, Buddy, Barnes, Bagley, Dedmon. And then our bench will be Corey Joseph, Bogdanovich, Ariza. And this is where it gets kind of dicey. Giles / Bjelica or Holmes. Now, I'm a little concerned that Giles is going to get lost in the rotation here, because I don't know exactly what Harry Giles' natural position is. I feel like it's power forward, because he's not... If you look at Harry Giles, his neck's about 4 feet long. And I'm not trying to make a joke here. He has a long... Well, I am kind of, but he has kind of a really long neck. If you look at his body, I feel like he's actually like 6'9", and his neck is just really long. You know what I mean? Like, if you look at Harry Giles, he doesn't have the hugest frame in the world. I mean, he's a big guy, but doesn't have the biggest frame in the world. He's definitely, to me, he's not a center. There's people I work with that think he can play small forward. I'm not going to get into that, but just let me know in the comments down below. Do you think Harry Giles can play small forward? I don't think he's quick enough. I don't think Harry Giles' feet are fast enough to play small forward. I don't think he'd be able to defend it at all. That's just me. So Harry Giles, he's either going to be a backup power forward or a backup center. I'm afraid that he's going to get lost in the rotation here. I'm afraid that they're going to give more minutes to Bielitsa because he can shoot threes and he can run up and down the floor probably. Run up and down from three-point line and shoot threes. And I feel like when they're running fast, they're going to want Bielitsa because Harry Giles kind of like, I almost want to say he slows the game down. He really doesn't because he can shoot. But Harry Giles is kind of like a playmaker. People are running around, people are cutting. Harry Giles will throw you a pass. That's what Giles is good at. Giles isn't exactly a track athlete, a track star running up and down the floor. And Bielitsa, trust me, Bielitsa isn't either. But Bielitsa has a better stroke than Harry Giles, and that's where I'm concerned that maybe if they want three-point shooting, they'll just go to Bielitsa. And I don't think they will because Vlade took a chance on Harry Giles, and everybody seems to love Harry Giles. I love Harry Giles. I love that guy to death. And I really hope that he pulls through and becomes an all-star someday. I don't know. Just with the lineup, I'm kind of afraid that he's going to lose minutes. But in my heart of hearts, I truly believe it's going to be Bielitsa who's going to be on the bench. Or it could just be, by committee. Whatever they need that night is what they put on the floor. But I don't know. And it's good for Harry Giles to have competition. He shouldn't just get a starting spot. There needs to be competition amongst the different players. So I think Harry Giles will be in a good spot. He's going to have Holmes, Dedmon, Bagley, all to compete against in terms of practice and learning. And I think Giles is going to be very good this year as long as he can stay healthy. I just kind of, when I look at Bagley, Giles, Bielitsa, it just is kind of weird. You know what I mean? It is weird because it's like Bagley's obviously an all-star someday. I just spit a lot. I don't know if you guys can see, but sometimes when I say words, I spit a lot. I don't know. Most of you guys probably just listening. Most of you probably don't want to look at my face for 20 minutes. I don't blame you. But when you look at Bagley, obviously an all-star someday. When you look at Harry Giles, maybe an all-star someday. When you look at Bielitsa, he's a role player. So going by the order of operations, Giles should get more minutes. But Bielitsa is probably the smarter player, less of a hothead. Giles is smart basketball IQ-wise, but Giles has some hothead, get pissed, yell at the ref issues. And I don't know. I'm just afraid that Giles will get lost in the rotation. But I feel like I've gone on about this too long. I think Giles will be fine, and I think Bielitsa will be fine. Obviously, the Kings want Giles to succeed, and I think now that Jaeger's gone, Luke Walton's the coach. I think Luke Walton will do what's necessary for us to win, and I think Giles will be fine. But that's just kind of the concerns I have with the lineup. The only other thing, and if you guys could comment down below and let me know why this is, I would appreciate it because I tried to do some research. I couldn't really find it, but most people on Twitter are suggesting that we either have to cut Frank Mason or Yogi Ferrell. Now, we currently have 14 players on the roster with, and you're allowed to have 13 active players, and you're allowed to have 15 players, but 13 have to be active, which means 2 of them have to be in street clothes. So I don't know if we have to cut one of Mason and one of Yogi just because we would feel bad. Neither of them have guaranteed money this year. Both of them are essentially a team option. So we could cut Mason, we could cut Yogi, and make them, go to some other team and, find a spot somewhere else because we wouldn't want to hold them up and make them wear street clothes all year. I get that. But on the other hand, do we have to... Is there a rule that we have to cut one of them, or is that just something that we're doing out of generosity because we don't want them to be stuck on the bench in street clothes? If someone could comment down below and let me know why exactly we have to cut one of them, or if we do have to cut them, or if it's just that people are assuming we're going to because it's the nice thing to do. Let me know. But in terms of Mason and Yogi, if I had to keep one, I've done a lot of thinking about it, and I feel like you would think, if you've thought about it a lot, why don't you know? Because it's hard. Mason, neither of them are really very good on defense. Neither of them are very good defenders, but I feel like if I had to pick one, I'd pick Yogi. That's just what my heart's telling me. I think Fox and Corey Joseph have enough playmaking, and Bogey. All 3 of those can play make, and hell, Giles can be a playmaker as a big man. And I would rather have the scoring punch, I think, personally. Frank Mason, he's good, and I feel kind of bad because he was the college player of the year or whatever when he came up, and we've essentially made him a professional dancer on the bench. All he does is dance all the time, and I feel bad because I thought Frank Mason could have really been good, but it almost seems like we haven't given him a chance, and that makes me feel bad. But I think I'd rather have the scoring of Yogi. Mason is a better defender than Yogi. But neither of them are, basically both of them are too small. I mean, Frank Mason's 5'11", Yogi's 6 foot. You can only be such a good defender at that height. And I think Mason is actually a better defender than Yogi is. Mason is a little smarter basketball IQ wise, I think, in terms of like where to be on the court and stuff. But he doesn't have the scoring punch that Yogi brings, and I think Yogi having the scoring punch is what the team needs. Now, with that being said, I have another part of this video to get to here. Honorable mentions and new guys. So, honorable mentions, Corey Brewer and Wenyen Gabriel. Now, the reason I mention these two guys is because Wenyen Gabriel, he's a beast. I liked him a lot, and I remember last year when we drafted him, I was watching video of him working out for the Lakers, and I really liked what I saw. And I thought, if he goes to the G League for a year, after I found that he was going to the G League, I thought, man, if he goes there for a year and develops, he could be really good on this team. Small forward, power forward-ish, kind of almost like a Trevor Ariza light, because he's not very big. He's kind of skinny, but he's tall and he can shoot. Corey Brewer, on the other hand, he's just a veteran. He was on the team last year. He was amazing for the team last year, and I would absolutely love to have Corey Brewer back. And I think, honestly, I feel dumb looking this up, but how tall is Corey Brewer? 6'9"? Okay. So, I feel like we're going to be kind of thin at the shooting guard small forward position because we really only have Buddy, Bogey, Barnes, or Ariza. Now, say Bogey got hurt for a month, or say Buddy got hurt for a month. You could easily slide Yogi into the shooting guard position if we kept Yogi and cut Mason. You could also play Corey Brewer at shooting guard or play him at small forward if Ariza were to get hurt or Barnes were to get hurt. I think Yogi can be point guard or shooting guard. Corey Brewer can be shooting guard or small forward. And I would like an extra piece, to be honest. I would like an extra piece to go to be able to play small forward and shooting guard. So I think if we were to cut Mason, it would be nice if we were to sign someone like Corey Brewer, because he is older anyways. He was on the team last year. He seemed to really enjoy his time with the team. And he's 33 years old. He may not mind sitting in street clothes and playing every once in a while, because he didn't really have a team last year. He was signed a 10-day contract. So if we gave him a minimum deal, he sat in street clothes. He was our 14th guy, and he would come play once every 5 games if someone needed a night off or someone was hurt. I wouldn't mind that. I would bring Corey Brewer back. As far as Wenyen Gabriel goes, he's a little bigger. He's a little... You look him up, Wenyen Gabriel. I'm pretty sure I spelled that wrong. Wenyen Gabriel, there we go. He's like, what, 6'11"? So Wenyen Gabriel is also 6'9", but he has more of like a small forward-ish body. Actually, let's look up some highlights of him playing last night. So Wenyen Gabriel, like there he is right there. Look at it, set a pick. I mean, he didn't really get anybody in the pick, but like he'll shoot the ball. Okay, that was some lucky right there. That was some lucky off the backboard shot. But there he is. Boom, coming up. Rebound. Look at that. You told me the Kings couldn't use him? I wouldn't mind if they signed Wenyen Gabriel and had him be kind of like inactive but play. And the thing is with Wenyen Gabriel is I would hate to make him inactive. He would definitely be better off in the G League. I mean, he seems to me like Wenyen Gabriel's a pretty good player, and I would not mind having him on the team at all. But it just kind of depends on what the team wants to do. And I mean, if we were to trade Trevor Ariza at the deadline, I think Gabriel could slide back in, right in, and be a very good backup for us. Then we could get to the NBA, like the actual NBA, and be garbage. He could get called up and be terrible. But I like Gabriel. I like Brewer. If we signed one of those guys, if we signed Brewer or brought Gabriel up, I wouldn't mind at all. I would love that. And now next is the new guys, Kyle Guy, Justin James, and Vanya Marinkovic. Now, I actually did not watch last night. I didn't watch the first night of the California Classic, but I am going tonight. So if you guys are going to be there, hit me up on Twitter or something. I'll come talk to you. So just make sure, follow me on Twitter at Tap2K43 and send me a message or something. And if you're going to be at the California Classic, Night 2, let me know. I'll come hang out with you or talk to you for a minute or whatever. But Kyle Guy, Justin James, Vanya Marinkovic. Now, Kyle Guy, from what I heard, turned the ball over twice his first 2 possessions last night. He didn't play that great, but he kind of tried making up for it and dunking and stuff towards the end. And he was kind of shooting and not dunking, but he was like playing hard, but he started out rough. Justin James, you know, this is all speculation because this is stuff I heard. This is all hearsay. I didn't watch the game, wasn't able to. I actually do have it recorded though. Justin James, from what I heard, was just all right, and Vanya Marinkovic is still an unknown. I got a sneaking suspicion that Vanya Marinkovic is going to be our best player to the draft. That's just kind of what it seems like to me. But Kyle Guy, Justin James, Vanya Marinkovic, I feel like Vanya will definitely be more NBA ready than the other two. The other two might go to the G League all year, which I wouldn't mind that, because if we had Kyle Guy, Justin James, and Wayne Gabriel in the G League, I feel like we'd be pretty good. But yeah, the new guys are worth mentioning. I don't know what we're going to do with them. But, I mean, if they can show something in the G League and get called up, I'm fine with it. Justin James is 6'7". He could play that shooting guard, small forward role, that third string role that I was talking about. Same with Vanya Marinkovic. Kyle Guy could be like the 4th point guard that plays once every 15 games if we need him to. You know, it's. I'm not saying that they're even going to be on the team at all, but they're worth mentioning just because we drafted them and they're Kings, and I love the Kings. So there we go. All right, guys, that's my feelings on the new signings. If I had to give it a grade, I'd give it an A-, just because we didn't sign an all-star. That's why. I mean, I really, in all honesty, it's an A+, because the Kings, this is probably the most talented Kings we've ever picked up in free agency ever. We got Harrison Barnes, Trevor Ariza, Dwayne Dedmon, Rashawn Holmes, and Corey Joseph. That's amazing. That absolutely shocked me that we did that well, so I'm going to give it an A+, actually. The reason I'd say that is because we did have Tobias Harris available, Jimmy Butler available. There were A+++++ guys out there, and we weren't able to sniff them. So it is what it is. But all in all, I'm very happy with our free agency additions. And time to see what the Kings are going to do tonight. I'm going to the game. I'll be at both games actually tonight. So hit me up on Twitter if you're going to be there, and I'll talk to you guys for a minute if anybody shows. If you guys enjoyed the video, give it a like, leave a comment, subscribe if you're new to the channel. By the way, the Kings are bringing the dark blue, the royal blue the jerseys back, and that's amazing. The royal blue jerseys I can't wait to buy one. I'm probably going to get Bagley or Buddy Hield. I'm thinking Buddy Hield, but we'll see what happens. If you guys enjoyed the video, give it a like, leave a comment, subscribe if you're new here to the channel. Thank you guys so much for watching. It's greatly appreciated. I'll talk to you in the next one. I love you.